Good morning. It is January 28th, 2017. Going to do the briefing today a little early. We have a little bit to get to. Not much going on this week, but just about every precipitation chance has at least a minor snow chance or some type of wintry precipitation chance with it. So we're going to try and break down each tiny event and see if we can find the smaller details about each event as well. It's not going to be until closer to each little system until we have the finer details. Our first one moves in tonight and tomorrow morning, where we do have the potential for a mix of some rain and snow showers. Not much of a big deal, but any kind of snow shower that falls could have a heavier burst with it and could quickly coat a road or two if the temperature is at or below freezing. So we're going to have to watch that very closely. Of course, our road temperatures are running fairly warm right now because of our couple of weeks of mild weather. It's not until today, yesterday, until we have started to see those colder temperatures moving into the area. Speaking of cold temperatures, we have temperatures in the mid 30s right now across western Kentucky. Those temperatures will climb into the low to mid 40s for this afternoon if they haven't already, and then we will see some higher clouds moving in from the north and west this afternoon, closer to the sunset time period, and that will help level off our temperatures around 2 or 3 o'clock this afternoon, is about as high as we'll get, and then they will begin to level off from there. Now, as we get into this evening, those clouds will continue to drift in and thicken, and that will allow the temperatures for this evening to not move a whole lot. Some forecasts are calling for the temperature to drop to the freezing mark already by 9, 10 o'clock p.m. I don't think that's going to happen. I think our temperatures will stay fairly 34, 35, 36 degrees all the way through about 2 or 3 a.m. We might drop to the freezing mark by around 5 or 6 tomorrow morning. Temperatures tomorrow morning are going to be crucial because we do have some models that are predicting a tiny batch of precipitation that will be moving through around the sunrise hours, and that is going to be the key time frame because that will be when our temperatures are coldest during this event, and we are going to have to see if we do have something moving through at the time of those colder temperatures. But it has been very hard to shake the clouds, especially the last couple of weeks, and it always is during the fall and winter months. But when you have these clouds moving in, you can kind of shave about 3, 4 degrees off of your temperature forecast. You can probably go about 3 or 4 degrees higher than what your forecast was when you have clouds moving in. Say your forecast is for a low of 30 degrees, but there's a forecast of clouds, then you should probably go with 34, 35, 36 degrees because temperatures struggle to drop during the overnight hours when we have clouds moving in. Clouds help keep all of our temperatures that we stored up during the daytime, the warm temperatures here at the surface. When those clouds aren't here, we have clear skies. That heat can escape into the atmosphere, leaving us with cold conditions underneath. And so that is why you sometimes see more clouds, warmer weather. You see less clouds, colder weather for the nighttime hours. During the daytime, it's the exact opposite. You got clouds during the day, it keeps temperatures down. You got clouds during night, it keeps the temperatures up. And so it is a little bit of a process that you have to think about when you are forecasting because it can definitely have and play a big role in your forecast. So, like I said, temperatures in the mid 30s right now. They will continue to climb throughout the rest of the day with sunny sky conditions. The sun is something that we haven't seen on a consistent basis for the last week or so with all of our storm systems moving in. It's nice from a meteorological standpoint or from a forecasting standpoint to have a break in forecasting the weather because it has been very active. Here's the GFS model when it comes to those snow showers tomorrow. This was the 6Z model run. Now, the 6Z model run kind of lost the snow showers for the purchase area of western Kentucky, which is who I'm forecasting for. It keeps them mostly confined to the Pennyroyal area. Now, the 12Z model I just looked at came out, but it's not fully sampled yet, so I'm not going to show it. But it is showing those snow showers back in western Kentucky, and it does pick up on that little batch moving through around the sunrise hours tomorrow morning. Going into Wednesday evening, we have a cold front moving through. Probably going to be dry. I don't think we'll have any precipitation with it. Could have a raindrop, sprinkle, or a flurry, but nothing of significance moving into midweek. Now, once we get into Thursday night, Friday morning, things become a little bit interesting. Temperatures will be crucial during this time frame. Friday morning, the GFS is spitting out some rain showers, possibly mixed with some snowflakes or maybe even some freezing rain and sleet in there. All modes of precipitation possible this upcoming Thursday night and Friday morning. And then what will happen is we'll get a break, and then we'll have a bigger system moving in sometime next weekend, the latter half of the weekend, and then into the beginning of next week. That's far away from now. We would get into details about this particular system in next week's briefing. which models are all over the place with. Right now, GFS is showing rain changing over to snow, and then the Canadian model is also showing just actually plain snow with this one. So models are all over the place. The European is showing snow as well. We'll just have to watch and see. I think we have cold air during this time frame after the Thursday and Friday system, which will be very weak. The Thursday night, Friday morning system is going to be very weak, but we all know that if you just get a trace of freezing rain or just a trace of snow, it's cold enough to accumulate on the roadways. It's cold enough to create problems, or it is enough to create problems. So we're going to have to watch that one very closely. If we were to look at the snowfall predicted by the GFS through this week, it's showing trace amounts up to an inch. I think we don't see even a half inch of snow if a snow shower comes down. More than likely, our temperatures will be above freezing if any snow falls tomorrow. And if there is any snow, if is the key word, we might see nothing. If some snow falls, it might just be really pretty to watch fall out of the sky and not much of an event where we're talking about totals or really even impact. Just something to watch fall out of the sky, something pretty to see. So we're not going to get into much details about this upcoming week besides the fact that we do have some snow showers in the forecast for tomorrow mixed with rain. And then we also have a very slight chance of some rain Thursday night, Friday morning, possibly some wintry precipitation mixed in there. And then we have a bigger system coming in around the end of next weekend into the beginning of next work week. That one is going to be the biggest one out of the upcoming three by a long shot. Whether it's all rain, a mix, whether it's all snow, still beyond this point to where we can know for certain what is going to happen. It will probably not be until next Friday or Saturday until we begin to even have a good handle of that event, and sometimes that's not even close enough. Let's look at the NAM model guidance for what it is predicting for tomorrow when it comes to our snow showers. This is the 3KM model. It's an experimental model of the NAM run, of the NAM model itself, the control, and it has done fairly well this winter. The first winter event we had this year, it didn't handle it all very well. But this one, it is handling, I think, very well, and we will wait and see if it does pretty good. The thing about the actual control NAM model is it just paints too much precipitation across the map, and I don't want to show you something where you're thinking it, where you're taking it as gospel rather than just guidance. Here's that little bitty batch of precipitation. Now, even this, the NAM 3KM can paint more precipitation than what is actually going to be shown on radar. And notice how it weakens it, but then it starts to regain strength as it moves into our neck of the woods, and then it changes it from, I think most of this would be snow. We can still have snow with temperatures above the freezing mark. I've watched it fall at 40 degrees tops. It can happen, but it's very rare for it to happen, and it's hard to accumulate, especially if it's light snow. If it's light snow, you can completely cross it out that it's not going to accumulate, and that's just on the grassy surfaces. I mean, sometimes if you get a heavy burst come through, it can quickly make the road slushy, where it can quickly cover the grass, but then it would melt again because temperatures would not support it to stay there. And so it's pretty to pretty to watch fall out of the sky, but I don't think this is going to be an impact at all when it comes to the snow. Now, it does show that first batch moving through early tomorrow morning. This would be 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, maybe 7 or 8. And then we watch a little bit of a break. But then we kind of get into, we call it the heat of the day during the summertime. It is wintertime, but you get these pop-up showers and thunderstorms during the summertime. These would be like pop-up snow showers. And sometimes you can have some heavier bursts. Notice how the NAM model is showing a few heavier snow showers in there. And the radar is going to see that tomorrow. And I think the radar will look somewhat like this. And then once we get to the sunset hours later on Sunday night, those snow showers will begin to die down. But it's very hard to predict where each individual band of snow will set up. And that is what we call banding. We don't want to forecast where each individual band is going to fall, because that is absolutely impossible. And if you try, you're probably going to get it wrong. So I'm not going to try and tell you where each individual band of snow is going to set up. I'm just saying that they're in this general area that I'm circling right here, further north than east also, but in this general area right here, close to our region, I think we will have snow showers in that area or in that vicinity. But the question is, where does that banding feature occur? You can be in this area and get no snow falling at all, and then your neighbor next to you ends up with a light dusting. So we'll watch and see how it happens. If you get a heavier burst move through, you can end up with a light dusting. But this is not an event where I'm saying that we're going to be out of school and we're going to have to start canceling activities. This is just a very light event. It's just nice that it's winter time. It's a reminder that it is winter and that you can have some snow falling. We did have this several times last year. We had snow falling when temperatures were too high to support it to stick, and it was just pretty to watch it fall, but there was no impacts or accumulation at all. Temperatures for tomorrow are going to be in the upper 30s to maybe even some low 40s in there as well. We'll have to watch and see. If you get some snow showers moving through, those individual snowflakes can sometimes cool the atmosphere down a couple degrees cooler than what is forecast. So that is also a thing that if you have snow showers falling, temperatures might be about 3, 4, 5 degrees colder than your neighbor next to you who's getting no snow at all falling outside their window. And so it does make that forecast part tricky. Now, as we get into Monday and Tuesday, temperatures warm up to around the 50-degree mark, maybe even a little bit warmer by the time we get to Tuesday. Notice we're not far from getting near 60 degrees. That would be in parts of northern Mississippi, southern parts of Tennessee, northern Alabama. I don't think we're going to get 60 degrees, but I do think that we'll hit the 50-degree mark for sure, not a little bit higher. And then by midweek, we see that next cold front moving through. Temperatures will take a nosedive once again for Wednesday back into the 40s. Remember, these temperatures are about average for this time of the year. This is not a huge cold outbreak. It just feels like it because we've been bathing in this warmth that we have been spoiled with for the last several weeks. Temperatures by next weekend, I'm not going to show them to you because there's no sense, because there is a storm system moving in during this time frame, and these are more than likely not going to be right because that is a blend of models, as you can see right here. And so this does make it better, and it does make it accurate, more accurate than just looking at one individual model. But when you look at the blend of models a week out, you have one model saying it could be snowing in 30 degrees like the Canadian and the European. You have another model that could be saying that it's going to be warm with rain, eventually changing over to snow like the GFS. And then when it combines all three of those, you get something like this right in the middle. And so we're going to have to see how that ends up playing out. Here is the precipitation. This is mainly for the Thursday night, Friday morning system. If we get any precipitation, it could possibly be frozen, it could possibly be mixed, or it could be just plain old liquid. We'll have to wait and see how that all turns out. We might have to do an update going into Wednesday night on the Thursday system to wait and see how that plays out. Right now, not much impacts expected for tomorrow's event with some isolated rain, snow showers. We'll have to wait and see how that all plays out. Just a reminder that it is winter time, and we still have a lot of winter left. We could still well end up with above normal snowfall and colder than average temperatures by the time February is put into the playbooks.